No, people, don't adjust your monitors. Yes, I am talking about WWE Total Divas. This is the Total Divas rundown for the first episode, the first week of Total Divas. Going to be released to you every Wednesday, but I'm not alone. I am here with the host of The Peep Show, a podcast that I am normally featured on almost every other week. Give it up for CHELZ, WWE fan that she used to be known as on YouTube, but give it up for CHELZ. CHELZ, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing really great.
Thanks for coming on for the Total Divas rundown.
This show has all of my attention. I love this show.
I agree. This show has a lot of great potential. I just felt that they did a great job with the editing on the show. The little scenes where the divas are talking to themselves. Like, of course, it's a reality TV show, and not everything is going to be real. And I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that felt kind of fake a little bit. But at the time, it's just supposed to entertain you. And I felt for what it was for that 1 hour, I was pretty entertained.
And I didn't even think it was an hour. It felt longer than an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much information that they put in one episode.
Yeah, it was like an episode. Like, I wonder if keeping up with the Kardashians is kind of like the show. I might get into that show. As gay as that sounds, I might get into that show.
Well, let's not talk about the Kardashians.
Yeah, they're kind of a weird bunch of people. Kanye West, Northwest. I'm excited for Northwest to see what that baby does on the next season. Apparently, it's going to be on. And I'm a huge Kanye fan. But Total Divas time up. Total Divas kicked off strong. Pretty much we got introduced to Nikki and Brie Bella. Pretty much they go by their real names. And then we got introduced to Trinity and Ariane. And a lot of people are like, who the fuck is Trinity and Ariane? You guys probably don't even know. That's actually, is it Naomi and Candace?
Cameron.
Yeah, and wait, Naomi and Cameron it is?
Naomi is Trinity and Cameron is Ariane.
Yeah, so they used their real names on this show. Were you surprised that they used the real names for the show, or?
I was kind of expecting it because, it's supposed to be like behind the scenes, who they are outside of the ring and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they don't go by their real names, it's just going to be like some show that Vince put together.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you there. And we also got featured Natalia being a Heart. And I like how what they did was they talked about how she is a Heart member, like a member of the Heart family, because I'm pretty sure like for women that are older that probably do watch the E! Network and just casual fans in general that watch the WWE and are watching Total Divas because they're a casual WWE fan and they love the WWE, I bet you a lot of people didn't know Natalia was related to the Hearts. So this is good information to tell people, hey, like, this girl's legit. And the older women that watch, like Natalia, they probably know who Bret Hart is because Bret Hart was a part of the booming era of professional wrestling when he first debuted. So people are going to know who Bret and Jim Neidhart are, most likely Bret. So it's good that they showed that she was a Hart in this episode. I'm really glad that WWE did a great job with Natalia.
I'm glad that they put that package together and actually showed, that's who she is.
Yeah, they did a great, awesome job with Natalia. And also they featured two new divas, up-and-comers, Eva Marie and JoJo, but we didn't get to learn much more about them till later in the episode. So pretty much the episode starts up with like pretty much they're just like, oh yeah, we're divas, this is what we do, and competition and all this other stuff. And we see the divas training and they're pretty excited because it's Wrestlemania weekend. And we see the Bellas like really do nothing in the ring for pretty much the first part, and all of a sudden Nikki, I think, said, oh, I'm hungry. Like, they didn't do anything, and why is Nikki hungry all of a sudden?
I don't know. It's those. I just want to get to where I'm just like, oh, I really hate this too.
Yeah.
Like, it was mostly about them, and that's what really made me mad at first.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about the Bella twins did a lot on this episode. Like, they are the main features, but Natalia, another main character on the show, you just see her in the ring, and they show how much of a badass she is in the ring. I mean, she's doing like these hand cartwheels in the ring, like all these sick moves, and it's like, god damn, like, why isn't she being featured on WWE TV more if she's working this hard? And you see her father, Jim Neidhart, there, like, oh, that's how you do it, Natalie. That's how you do it. That's what you do. And she's all excited, like, oh, yeah, you're ready for WrestleMania. You got to get a mean face going. And you know, they're just pretty much building up that WrestleMania is coming around the corner.
And, you know, I get that they're having her doing all this and stuff, but, you know, sitting there and not giving her the shot kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
And I can see what they're doing with her, too. Like, they're showing that, oh, she's helping the Divas of tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, she's that strong veteran that everybody wants to work with.
Yeah, and Trinity and God, Ariane, I cannot. It's so hard to say her name. I don't know why. Ariane. It's so hard for me to say her name. They were pretty much dancing in the gym, not really doing anything. And John, otherwise known as Jimmy Uso, it's pretty much, you know, engaged to Trinity. So they have something going there. So at least we know that there is relationships inside the WWE locker room. I would assume so, because they see each other like almost every week. So, and then, of course, relationships are going to bloom down there. So, yeah, back to what you were saying, Natalie not getting the WrestleMania shot. So pretty much like the next scene is pretty much like everyone, all the Divas are excited. Ariane broke down how the Divas have a main event scene, a mid-card, and a lower card scene. I was like, what? I didn't know the Divas had a main event scene.
Breaking baby.
I was like, I didn't know that they had like divisions in the Divas for the WWE. I just thought they were all just bunched up in that one Divas division, but I guess there is a pecking order.
Yeah, and she made sure of that too.
She made sure that we understood, the pecking order in the Divas. But you know, Natalya, she hugs Stephanie, and it seems like Stephanie is going to be a big part of the show, and I can see why. But Natalya gets a call from who was it again? What was her name?
Jane something, I can't remember. Her name is Jane, and she's head of talent relations.
Yeah, for the
she tells her to come downstairs and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so
something's not good.
Yeah, she comes downstairs, and are they in a hotel lobby at this point, or
they're at the Wrestlemania, New York, New Jersey area.
Yeah, so they're in a hotel lobby, and she just pretty much tells Natalya, "Oh yeah, we're not gonna be able to put you on the card and stuff like that, and the Bellas are gonna be on it with tons of funk, and they're gonna face out Tensai, and they're just naming out like the match that's going to happen." And Natalya, you get a confessional from her, and she's pretty much just saying to herself, "I'm pretty upset with this." And you got to learn from Natalya that, you know, she's really hurt by this because she's working all year, and she won't be able to work at Mania. And they always stress the fact Mania is like the Super Bowl for pro wrestling, pretty much. And it sucks. Like, you felt Natalya's pain, like when she was talking about that, like how she was not able to work at WrestleMania.
After she brought in all of her family and everything, you know, she told them, "Oh, I'm going to be at WrestleMania," and they told her that she wasn't, and then, you know, it's like, oh, it's a waste of time.
Yeah,
like she felt like it was a waste of time.
I felt bad for her, and then the other thing was like they said, "Oh yeah, you're going to be mentoring the 2 new rookies that are coming in and stuff like that." And then Natalya said in the confessional, which is so true, she was just like, "Oh, so I'm going to have to mentor these kids, and then they're just going to take my spot again." And
like, teach them everything you know, all of your secrets, and then so they can take your spot. And that hurt me too. Like, I was like, man, I really feel bad for Natalya right now.
Yeah, and the overshadowing keeps going with Natalya, and all of a sudden, I don't know which Bella comes in. I honestly can't tell them apart in regular clothes. It was Brie. Okay, so Brie comes in, and Natalya, you can tell she's kind of putting on a fake smile, just like, "Oh, congratulations, like you made it at WrestleMania." And Brie's just kind of like, "Oh yeah," like she doesn't seem excited at all. She just is like, "Yeah, I'm at WrestleMania," and you know, and this is a true fact. Natalya's pissed off that the Bellas are getting their way because they were gone for a year, and then all of a sudden they're like a huge deal. Like all of a sudden now they're like being featured at WrestleMania, and that's true. Like if I was Natalya, I'd be pissed off too.
Definitely. Like, how are you gone for a year? Then you just get shot right back to the top where you were before.
Yeah, I mean, like the Bella Twins is not like they're like Trish Stratus or Lita. Like if you understood, okay, I didn't get WrestleMania, but that's because Trish Stratus is fucking coming back, you know? This is the Bella Twins. They're like regular wrestlers that you see every week on your television set. So it's really hard to like, I really do feel bad for Natalya. And, you know, the Total Divas is mostly to focus around the Bella Twins. And, you know, let's just talk about the Bella Twins before we introduce ourselves to the new Divas, which I don't know why we had to get new Divas for the show. But one scene with Nikki Bella is that she's in John Cena's fucking huge-ass mansion. And I guess John Cena lives by the ocean and all this other shit. Like, fuck, man. Cena, hook me up, dude. I really want... I'm in love with Cena's place. I would be fishing every single day. Oh, my goodness. John Cena is
he's loaded.
He's one lucky human being. And so pretty much Nikki's learning how to fish, and John Cena comes off as a total fucking tool in this segment. He does. He comes off as a tool. Like he's all like, yeah, I like your outfit to Nikki, and she's like, oh, I like yours. And then he lifts up his shirt like, you like it like this?
Oh. I remember that.
Yeah, he's like lifting up his shirt. He's all saying like, "Oh, you like my six pack?" Or something. It's like, what are you doing? And then,
can he not be a douchebag right now?
Yeah, no, he was being a total douche, Cena. He was being like a total douche in the scene. And then all of a sudden, it was kind of like Nikki was all like, oh, this is like reminding me of The Notebook and stuff like that. And Cena's like, what's that shit? Like he's like, and Nikki's trying to explain The Notebook to him, and Cena's just like, whatever, just fucking kiss me. And so it's like, I remember in an interview, Nikki's like, oh, how people are going to see how nice of a guy John Cena is. It's like, John Cena acts like a total tool, to me at least. Like, he acts like a total tool around you. Like, I understand if you like it, like, maybe they don't show all of Cena, but I know Cena needs to get a really good edit because I'm pretty sure kids are going to be watching this just because of John Cena, too, if they hear John Cena's on it. But he looked like a total tool in this whole segment of Nikki and John. But I do see the chemistry between them. I do see that Cena does like her, but I don't see it's like a marriage chemistry, which we'll talk about later. What do you think?
I don't think it's much of a marriage. I think it's more of like oh, she's the rebound girl, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, she's just a pretty face, something that he can, do it and pass, keep going. Like, I don't see this relationship lasting pretty long.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah. And then I'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll discuss that later.
Yeah. But also, like you were talking about the Divas, how the Bellas took Maddie's spot at WrestleMania. Are they forgetting that they had a WrestleMania match a couple of years ago?
Yeah, they're like,
like this is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, we will talk about that one a little bit later because I want to try to keep on point with everything that happened on Total Divas. But another segment we got was Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan. And in all honesty, I can see Brie just seems more simple than Nikki. She seems like that simple type of girl. Like, Nikki's like off and wanting to live in a nice big house. She's fine with her nice little apartment and everything. And she likes walking to the supermarket with Daniel Bryan and her dog. Like, and I see the little chemistry. Like, that's like a boyfriend and girlfriend thing when they were walking the dog and the dog pees before they hit the grass. And then Brie goes to Daniel and says, should we clean them up? And Daniel's like, nah. And then they just kind of laugh together. Like, you can see they do really love each other. And it's a much more organic type of chemistry. Like, I like Brie more than Nikki at this point. So far, I'm liking Brie more than Nikki.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, the car. All of a sudden, Nikki walks in with this huge car that John Cena apparently bought for her. And Brie said this is the car Nikki has been dreaming about before she could drive, which I just find ridiculous to me because I don't think there was that type of car ever out. And this leads to a kitchen where they're cooking and stuff, and Daniel Bryan says the weirdest statement I've ever heard. Like, look, he's buying a Range Rover before he's buying you a ring. That's a little intense if you ask me. Or a little weird or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't even think John Cena bought that car. I think he leased that shit.
Leased it. He's getting that car back.
Oh, dude, I think Cena leased that. I don't think he bought it. I mean, I don't see Cena's a car guy. He has to have some type of connections. He has like a shit ton of cars, So he has to have connections, but as it stands, so far, some of the plot points on this show is just pretty much Nikki wanting to get married to John Cena. Natalya kind of like being upset that she has to tutor these younger divas. Brie and Daniel Bryan pretty much being in a relationship. So far, those are the major plot lines on Total Divas. Now we get introduced to my favorite, Vincent, the boyfriend of Ariane.
Oh my god, I hate him so much.
I love him. He's such a G. So
he's an asshole.
No, he's a great man. Vincent's a great man. So pretty much Vincent, comes in to go see his girlfriend Ariane to wrestle at WrestleMania. He's in the hotel room. And so I guess they had some like dress rehearsal or something for WrestleMania. And Ariane was completely upset about this because I guess Brodus Clay said,
Brodus Clay, you suck. I was like, what?
Brodus Clay said that Ariane sucked. And this leads to Vincent playing.
He went balls out. He was just like, man, who said this to you? What the fuck did they say? They ain't gonna fuck with my girl or something like that. He just went off for nothing. Like, he just said you suck.
I loved it. I loved every minute of Vincent because he's that type of guy on the reality TV show that will snap and will have a great moment when he does. And I can't wait to see the more controversial drama with Ariane and Vincent. But it kind of shows, like, in this segment where Trinity didn't really have Ariane's back, that there is some separation in between Trinity and Ariane as friends. And this leads to Trinity telling John in the car, not John Cena, Jimmy Uso, pretty much telling her, like, that could have cost us our jobs and everything. And John says, you have to go out, have a talk with her. And this is where kind of more of the fake shit I feel like is in place where, we have to have a talk together and all that other stuff. Like, I really do feel this was kind of like fake, like saying, they need to settle the argument. And this led to a breakfast that made them become like, they bickered a lot, but they ended up becoming pretty cool near the end of it. And so that's pretty much what happened with Ariane and Trinity so far. And then we get introduced to the new divas, the 19-year-old JoJo, who honestly I don't know what the fuck she's doing, and
she's just there.
And the spunky and fiery Eva Marie. Now, Eva Marie,
she's a badass for one.
Wait, what'd you say?
She's a badass for one.
Yeah, that's true. She is a badass and very beautiful girl, very fiery personality. I see a lot of great Eva Marie moments coming on to this show. I just see a lot of great shit coming from Eva Marie. Like, yeah, obviously, if you watch the, like, what's coming up on Total Divas this season, you're going to see, like, some, like, clips of what's going on. But I see some great stuff from Eva Marie. JoJo, I don't know. What are your thoughts about JoJo, though?
JoJo, I think she's basically there to be, like, she's there because she's, the young girl. She's starting out. They're trying to appeal to the teenagers, the young adults and stuff. Like saying, this is like my first time away from home, I'm having a good time, living the high life. It's like, no.
Yeah.
And that really makes me mad too. Like, this is going out of the way. You're saying that she's 19, she's on television.
Yeah.
But they can't have Paige on.
Yeah, Paige can't even be on the road, but JoJo's on the fucking road.
JoJo's on the road. JoJo's fucking on TV. Like, I can't.
I don't know what. I agree. Yeah, like Paige can't be on TV, but JoJo's on the road. She's going to these parties and stuff. Like, well, she's
like a year younger than me. I'm 20. I'm gonna turn 21. But what? Stop.
Well, she could be 20 now because this was filmed. Most of Total Divas was filmed from WrestleMania to I don't know when. So she could be 20 now. So I don't know her age of birth. I honestly don't know her ring name or her full name. So I'm gonna look that up a little bit later about JoJo. But so pretty much, we get introduced to them, and they're pretty much all excited about being there. We don't know what they can do in the ring. But all we know is that they're pretty much just there. And the first thing Jane tells her is to dye her hair blonde. And it's pretty obvious why. is because she looks like a Bella twin, and she does.
She looks like Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing I said when they first showed the little preview. I was like, she looks a lot like a Bella twin. I was like, oh, Bella triplets? What?
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, and they told her, dye her hair blonde. And so they told her to dye her hair blonde. And there's Lisa Natalia being like, hey, what about me? I'm a blonde.
She's like, there's only one room for one blonde. I was like, you go natty.
Like, Natalia's trying to prove herself. And that's what I like. It's like they're trying to show that Natalia has all these hardships. Like, even though she comes from a great family like the Hart Foundation and all that and all the great stuff that they did, that she's still, like, underlooked. She's
still trying to get there.
Yeah.
To that point.
She's still underlooked when it comes down to being a part of the Divas division. And so, pretty much with Eva Marie and JoJo, we pretty much just get dumb segments where the Bellas just say, oh, have fun. And then all of a sudden, like, Eva Marie, she goes to go dye her hair, and JoJo's there for no reason. And this leads to Eva Marie. Yeah, moral support. And Eva Marie pretty much goes like, I want to dye my hair blonde. And so when she does it, she's not feeling it. So then she decides to go Rihanna Fiery Red.
And I'm just like, what?
So, what were your thoughts?
When it does her. It looks well on her.
Yeah, it does look well on her.
The blonde did not hit with her at all.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like what would Diva have blonde hair like that? I think at one point Eve's hair was about that color. It wasn't like that light, but it was like that, and I was just like, oh, that's ugly.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But it works for her. Like, how many redhead divas do we have?
Like, none. Really none. And even though it's
like Alicia Fox had that color, but it was a little bit lighter. But she's back around, so it's okay.
It's all right.
It works for her.
Because Eva Marie, she has the red right hair, and she goes to see Jane about it. And this is another fake part where Jane's just like, oh, well, I like it. I would be disappointed if I said, like, can you at least try to act here? Like, I bet you she was pissed off in real life, but, like, this was another
That's what I'm saying.
moment.
She is fucked when she goes see Jane. Like, she went completely off of her orders. And, you know, most girls could get fired for that.
Yeah. But they need her for this total diva, so they're not going to fire her.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, because, like, from what we're seeing, this may be a short little stint in the WWE for Eva Marie. if things keep up on Total Diva. So, Eva Marie, you're lucky that this is being filmed.
May not make it that far.
Yeah, she may not make it that far. But, so we get to this party scene, and I don't know what this party's about. It's like
It's the WrestleMania opening, like, it's the first party that they have, like that. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, but they have it every year.
So they decide to have a party. They had a party, and the Bella twins are upset.
Bitches. That really made me hate them so much.
They are very upset that Eva Marie and JoJo are taking pictures. And this comes to a point where they ask one of the MetLife Stadium workers if there's a secret room so they can hide them in. I understand friendly competition and everything, but god damn it. I thought it was hilarious what they did. They were like, oh yeah, we need some champagne. Can you go get us some champagne? They basically tell Eva Marie and JoJo to get some champagne and tell them, hey, that's what happens when you're low on the totem pole. Like, what?
Like, they were throwing their weight around. They were being bitches. And I think a lot of alcohol was influencing that one. But yeah, they were throwing their weight around, and jealousy does not look great on them.
No, they didn't look good. Like, see, with the Bella twins, it's hard with what they're trying to do with, like, their reality TV characters. Like, because, like, with Nikki, you have her character being like, oh, I want to marry John, I want to find love, but you also have her character being, I'm jealous of Eva Marie, and I'm jealous of these new divas, and if someone's training my spot, I want to take them over. While Brie, you know, we get this cool, fun-loving, you know, Brie with Daniel Bryan that just seems like a chill person, but all of a sudden, like, when she's at a WWE event, she turns into Nikki.
She's a bitch.
she turns into a Nikki. Like, I feel Nikki gives a bad rub on Brie Bella. I think Nikki is the bad person out of all the Bella twins.
And I think maybe Brie has this little bitch inside her too. Like, it doesn't come out as often, but when it does, here it is.
Yeah, because like it's so hard. Because like the thing is like I feel Eva Marie is like the perfect type of diva that you would put on the show to be the total bitch. Because they're trying. Because on the WWE Raw beforehand, they try to make her look like the total bitch by slapping Jerry the King Lawler. But she seems like the more perfect girl that you would want to be like the total bitch of the show and stuff like that. But it's so hard to feel bad for Nikki because John won't love her if she's acting like this at a party.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I just feel like they're doing a bad job at trying to sell the Bella twins at us, especially for the first episode. But Ariane and Trinity were fighting over something, and I think Ariane said the funniest thing, and I don't know why she said this. She said, "Don't get up in my Kool-Aid, girl."
Oh my God! Stop.
I was like, what?
She just, and she's just.
She's just freaking out. I feel Ariane is just like, and that's I guess the story of Ariane and Trinity is that like there's a lot of friction between them. Like even though they're working together, there's a lot of friction. Like even though they call each other sisters, there's a lot of friction between Ariane and Trinity.
Trinity is more with her. She's trying to get her work done.
Yeah.
And Ariane wants to play around. And she wants to live this good life. Like she's like, oh, I'm just about the fame and everything. Ariane, she's just doing too much. And Trinity, she wants to get her shit done.
Yeah, Trinity, like said in the beginning of the episode, she wants to be the best diva ever, and that's a good goal to set for yourself. I know people at home that are like the internet fans, are like, psh, yeah, right. You're not gonna be the best diva ever, but. Dude,
it's a good goal to set for yourself.
Yeah, try. Like I wish more diva. Like Natalia's the same thing. She wants to become one of the best ever too, but she's being underlooked. And one thing also at the WrestleMania party was, all the other divas were on the red carpet, but poor Natalia was forced to do interviews. Was forced to hold a microphone and talk, and she said like, I just want to be like one of the girls too and take pictures and have fun. Like.
She wants to live that, live the high diva life like everybody else is.
Yeah.
But she's been put on the background.
And you felt bad for Natalia here. You're like, oh man, I feel really bad for Natalia. So I don't know what they're doing with Ariane and Trent. One thing also, if you guys don't know, Ariane is the girl that said Melina and Alicia Fox is her favorite match of all time on Tough Enough. She's the first person that got eliminated on Tough Enough, and the winner of Tough Enough is no longer with the company. So this shows how credible WWE Tough Enough was on the USA Network. But so I think I'm forgetting something with Ariane and Trinity. I know they had something else going on besides that breakfast, but no, I think that's it before the WrestleMania stuff. I think we only have to cover. Or are we on Wrestle? Oh no, we have to cover Brie and Nikki's breakfast, where pretty much Brie was like, "Oh, me and Bryan are going ring shopping." If you guys don't know, Bryan's real name is Bryan Danielson. So yeah, so Bryan and her are going ring shopping, and this leads to Nikki getting into her. Oh, I want John to love me. I want him to marry me, and all this other shit, and it's like.
She was jealous.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me frustrated because I don't see Nikki and John laughing anymore.
Yeah. I totally agree. I don't see them loving each other at all. In all honesty, I just don't have that vibe with it. With Brie, I do.
With Brie and Daniel, I see it. Like, they're really sweet with each other. They have stuff in common.
Yeah, and with we haven't seen much of Trinity and John's relationship, but they seem kind of okay. We all know Vincent and Ariane are just the perfect couple made in heaven.
That Best couple ever.
Best couple ever. I can't wait. I was like, oh, please don't let Vincent be a one episode guy. You need him on more episodes. You need him on for more episodes. But
mind you, this guy looks like Antonio Cesaro, like 3 times bigger with Drake's eyebrows. He's like my favorite guy now. Like he's just so weird looking.
He's a great character. I love that they, and what I like about him, I think, is that also because like he's not a professional wrestler. We don't know anything about him because it's like with the professional wrestlers that are on Total Divas, like the Bryan Danielsons, the John Cenas, the Jimmy Usos in the world. We pretty much know a lot about who they are character wise and everything, but with Vincent, we know nothing about. We know nothing about this dude. He's just some guy that's dating Ariane. So I think it's cool to get the dynamic of a normal person who doesn't go through the WWE schedule like all the other Divas boyfriends do. That, you know, pretty much know, like we pretty much get to know from their point of view what it's like not see their girlfriend for like 5 days or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like that dynamic.
Maybe it has to be hard on her relationship.
Yeah, and hard on his relationship too. So it's definitely an interesting one. So now we get on to the big night. It's WrestleMania, and Triple H, oh, he has to conquer this segment as well, brother. Because we all know, anyone who is a wrestling fan knows that WrestleMania 29, well, if you guys don't know what happened, so pretty much from what we saw was that the Bellas were all ready and they were talking shit. Another fake moment in Total Divas. But one thing was so dumb, and I can't believe this. This is the WWE, but they can't make ring trunks in time?
That, I did not understand that. How was your stuff not done by the time you had to go on?
I know, like, did they just go up to, did they do this? Do they just do this for every superstar? Where they
now, I can understand that, you know, you have to make a couple hymns here and there. They were still putting shit together.
Yeah. Like,
they're putting their rhinestones on. I'm like, that should have been done. That should have been done for your dress rehearsal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, were they adding something new to their attire that I didn't know about? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. But if you guys are wrestling fans, you know the footage they show is that Undertaker pinned CM Punk 1, 2, 3, 21-0. The streak is pretty much, you know, continuing alive and well. But that wasn't the match that was before the main event, which was John Cena versus The Rock. For anyone who's not a wrestling fan and just stumbled upon this video because you were looking for someone to talk about Total Divas. The match beforehand was Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. Okay? That match went longer than it was supposed to. And so you have Eva Marie, JoJo, and Natalia kind of just sitting there, you know, in the sweet press box, wherever the hell they're at. They're sitting there and they're like, oh yeah, they're on next. Haha. And then all of a sudden you hear John Cena's music.
John Cena's music. And I was like, oh.
And everyone's like, and she's like, they were supposed to be on next. They literally were supposed to be on next. What happened? What happened? And so she's going to go downstairs to see it. But the one thing was, it's like, Triple H has to cover his ass here. He's not going to look like the asshole on this show. Oh, no. Not the game. Hunter Hearst Helmsley is not going to look bad on this show. And I just found it funny that Triple H would hide the fact that, you know, his match wasn't the last one on. But one thing I found interesting was how Brie was watching Daniel Bryan's match. Did you?
Nikki wasn't any
and Nikki was there too. Did it look like they were just kind of like forced to watch it or something?
They were just sitting there like.
Honestly,
like, I can understand, like, oh, you're getting your mind mentally prepared, but at least watch your man's match.
No, they were watching it, but she just didn't look interested.
I don't know.
Because, like, after the match, she's like, oh, and still tag team champions. Like, she knew it was happening. Like, the Daniel Bryan text her, hey, still going to be tag team champions, LOL, or something like that. They're just weird people. Like, oh, did we talk about the dinner date? Did we talk about the Cena?
No, we didn't.
Oh, we haven't. This is what we need to talk about. I forgot. So
can I just say that John Cena whispers too damn much? They need subtitles for him.
No, because if you had subtitles for what he said to Nikki, I think a lot of parents would be offended what Mr. John Cena said to Nikki.
Well, their kids should be in bed by that
time. but what happened was, before we talk about the WrestleMania fallout and what happened when Natalya found out the Divas weren't going on, before like WrestleMania at some point, Nikki took John Cena on a random Thursday night dinner, and John Cena literally whispered, "Man, it's so hard to look at your face with your big boobs and your nice legs and that dress."
Like I said, this isn't a relationship that's really gonna last.
Because he's like a total ass here. I mean, he's just like that. He's like, fuck yeah, man. This and that, this and that. It's like, oh my god, dude, you're just like totally. And she's like, can I be serious for a minute? And John's like, oh god. And then Cena literally said, like, when Nikki's like, oh yeah, I want to get married. And Cena's like, I've been down that road before and didn't work out that well. And he sounds serious when saying that. And then afterwards, he looked like, when he was telling Nikki like why he adores her and all that stuff, he looked kind of just like disinterested. He was just like, a girl like you, like where it's fishing fishing in the rain, or having a random Thursday night dinner. I mean, I can't have that with anyone else. It's like, what? I mean, I don't know. Like we said, they don't look like they're a couple. They just look like they're forced together. Like, do you feel like there's
no interest in it?
Do you feel like with the idea of Total Divas, and I know it sounds fucked up that they would try to do this, but do you think when they were thinking of Total Divas, they called John in and they thought maybe a presence like a Cena could help, maybe with the ratings or something, you build some ratings or build an audience because John Cena's dating one of the Bellas or something? Like, do you feel like that's something that they were kind of thinking about, like telling John, like, hey, maybe you should go over and date that Bella twin over there or something? Do you think that was something? Well, when they started dating, it was like in October, but do you think if Cena was thinking about breaking up with her, they kind of said, hey, don't do it just yet because we kind of want to do this Total Divas? Do you think they would like to have Cena on the show still? Because I think they would.
Maybe not. Because what would be his excuse if he wasn't dating a Bella? Maybe he'll date another diva, and there might be a little replacement with the Bellas or something.
Probably. Most likely. That would be interesting, actually, if the Bellas still stay on Total Divas and say Cena's dating, like, Caitlyn or something. That would be interesting.
That would be so funny. Like, and John is dating Caitlyn.
Yeah.
So whatever it is.
So yeah, pretty much Cena right now is trying to avoid the marriage card, but we don't know officially how that's going to happen. So pretty much this leads to Trinity, Ariane, Nikki, and Brie. They're pretty much upset that their match was canceled, and Trinity was very upset. She was like saying, I worked my ass off for this, and you can tell Trinity, because like she's trying to become like one of the best divas, she said, and she's like upset.
She's serious about her job.
Yeah, she's serious about this. She doesn't want to see anyone see her cry. She's crying on the floor, and all of a sudden we get Layla up here, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, why is
Layla up here?
Why is Layla not on the show? Why do you think Layla's not on the show?
Because she's not dating a WWE superstar or something. I don't know.
Do you feel like
I think they set this up? They set up the ones that look like they could be on the red carpet.
Okay, so but like Layla's a beautiful woman. I mean, do you think it's just because like maybe there's nothing interesting going on in Layla's life, unlike the other divas, that they just felt like she wasn't worth putting on the show?
Probably.
Because I know why they didn't put Caitlyn and AJ on the show, because AJ Lee has a certain character that she has to keep up with, and it's going to be really hard to like do the reality deal with AJ and not have her act like a psycho on the TV show. And they didn't want AJ to be like, because like they knew that if they put AJ on the show, no one's going to give us two shits about any other diva but AJ, because AJ is like, I'm not a huge AJ Lee fan, but there's a lot of wrestling fans out there who do love AJ Lee and do love like who she is in real life, like not this crazy psycho person we see on our WWE TV, but the real AJ that's a comic book, video gamer, the girl next door type of feel, that type of deal. That's what AJ is, and I felt like they didn't want to put her on there because of that. But Caitlyn, what do you think are the reasons why they didn't put on Caitlyn for Total Divas?
She's not as interesting, in my opinion, as the other ones.
Do you feel
she's really down to earth, very simple. She's kind of weird. Like they want the high class. Oh, I want to go shopping. I want to do this and that. Like she's not that kind of person.
Yeah, obviously you can see by her in-ring attire, black tank top and a black suit, and yeah, I can see that because she doesn't seem like an interesting person. I was just kind of curious with I understood why they wanted to separate the main event divas with the kind of lower card divas that don't get enough spotlight, but I can see that with.
If they want to do that, then why didn't they get like Alicia Fox?
What's interesting? What's interesting going on with Alicia Fox? She's already taken on WWE Inbox, being harassed by the primetime players.
Well, I haven't watched it in a while, so I don't even know what she's doing at all.
For Alicia Fox, but pretty much that was a wrap for episode 1 of Total Divas, and from what we know so far as all the character archetypes, so from JoJo, we pretty much know nothing about JoJo just yet in this show.
But there's a lot coming up.
There's a lot coming up, but we're also going to talk about the not the preview that showed at the end of Total Divas, but the commercial that was shown on WWE Raw, which is going to hype up next Sunday's episode of Total Divas. But JoJo, pretty much we know nothing about, but there's big things coming with her. Being a young girl, she's obviously going to be very easy to trick. Eva Marie, we already know she's that feisty, do whatever the fuck type of chick, and we know she's going to be very interesting being on this show. I feel like there's going to be a lot of great Eva Marie moments. Do you agree with me on that one with Eva Marie?
Yeah, she seems like somebody that's going to get herself into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Especially from what they were showing so far.
Yeah, exactly. So
she wants to do it her way and not the way that they want her to do it, and that's going to get her in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We got Natalya, and we saw in the previews that there's also relationship problems with her, but that she's also trying to break out of the mold and prove herself and prove that she's more than just a heart girl. Like she wants to prove herself to who she really is. Like, she wants to break the mold. She wants to be like every other diva. She doesn't want to just be, cast aside just this veteran diva presence. She wants to be like every other diva on the roster. So that's a character in Natalya. Brie Bella, she doesn't really have that much character on this show. She's more of just like Nikki's
she's Nikki's sister.
Yeah, she's like Nikki's sister / Nikki's vice. Like if Nikki's having something going wrong with her, Brie is pretty much there. She seems like the more boring of the Bellas, but she can get bitchy, but she seems more of the boring of the Bellas on the show. Ariane, I honestly don't know a character trait for Ariane at this point, but it seems like her and Trinity's relationship is more important because, like you mentioned earlier, Ariane is just that girl that wants to have fun, while Trinity is very serious about her job. So that's pretty much how they are being presented. Like there's shit going down between Ariane and Trinity, and especially we know Ariane in real life, what happened to her. They showed it in the final preview, like what's coming up this season, and that shit's gonna be a crazy episode when that airs.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. And then Nikki Bella, she's obviously the one that's like in love with Cena. She's the person that wants to get married because she's like jealous of everyone. She seems very jealous of everybody, like you said. She
wants to be like her sister. She wants to have that relationship her sister has.
Yeah.
And she is not doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. She seems like very jealous of everything. So next Sunday on Total Divas, and this is from what I got from the commercial that aired on WWE Raw. Pretty much WWE gets a show to ship first. So, but next time on Total Divas, it looks like Eva Marie gets to be on Maxim magazine. She's taking a photo shoot for Maxim magazine. It looks very beautiful doing it, causing Nikki to be very upset. So that's a
AKA Nikki's jealous.
Nikki is jealous, but another diva, Trinity, is also jealous because Eva Marie is dancing with Johnny Curtis, aka known as Fandango. So and this leads to Trinity saying, "Oh hell no, you can't dance." So that is something that's very interesting with that dynamic. I want to see how it is, and it seems like Eva Marie gets talked to by Stephanie in this episode. We also see Trinity and Ariane are fighting in this episode. They seem like they get into another spiff. And also, Nikki gets to meet John Cena's family.
Oh, that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, from the final clip that was shown, it was Cena saying, "Not only are you meeting my family, but I'm also asking you out to dinner." So we're going to get a lot of interesting stuff with Total Divas. But overall, what were your thoughts on the first episode of Total Divas?
Altogether, it was a very, very good episode.
I agree.
Like, it was a very good first episode, like, grabbing everybody's attention and very well put together.
I feel like the people that haven't watched this show, hopefully this recap or so, like if you were on the fence of the show, hopefully like this little recap and rundown. And I pretty much just told you everything that happens on the first episode. That's what a rundown is. It's not like a review. This is like where you run down, break down the information, and you kind of just talk about it. Like, hopefully this rundown makes you kind of interested in the show, because this shit is like, it's like there's real stuff in it, and there's also a bunch of, like, because in reality TV, you got to make it look good for TV and entertaining. So, of course, fake shit's going to happen. There's going to be fake stuff on the show. But for first episode, this really grabbed your attention, like you said. It made me was like, oh my God, this is some good stuff. Like, I pinpoint who the characters were. I fell in love with characters. I hated characters. Like, Natalia's my favorite character. Vincent's my man. I hope Vincent gets a lot of airtime in the upcoming weeks. But I feel like the divas that they chose for this show are just great choices. Like, at first I was kind of like, I don't know. The divas are kind of weak. But these divas are really great choices for what they chose for the show.
And it works together. It balances out really well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because like but what my biggest fear of Total Divas is that it'll become too Bella heavy. You know what I'm saying? It'll become too Bella heavy.
And I see a lot of that. I saw a lot of that the first episode. Like, they're making it a lot about Nikki and John.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like that. It really made me kind of hate Nikki Bella a lot.
Yeah, like, and that's good that Nikki's becoming the villain of the show, even though she's kind of like supposed to be like the sympathetic, like, oh, I feel bad for her because this guy's being a total douchebag to her and stuff like that. So, like, I feel bad for little Nikki Bella, but she's hanging in there. She's hanging in there for all the good of the people and for John Cena at least. So, Eva Marie, I hope she has some blow ups. That would be amazing. So, and JoJo, hopefully she gets something going. I hope she
does something.
Yeah, because she literally was just kind of sitting there and smiling. Like, she kind of like is like the replacement for AJ Lee in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like that cute little girl next door type of feel. Like, but you don't know anything about her. Like, because we know everything about AJ, but we don't know anything about JoJo.
And like she said, this is like her first time away from home.
Yeah.
So she's like, you're seeing her experience everything for the first time.
Do you feel like if Total Divas is like a huge success on the E Network, like how Keeping Up with the Kardashians is, and if WWE feels like funding this, do you feel like JoJo will be like the main featured diva by like season 4, 5?
I think about season 3.
All right.
Yeah.
Like,
if she blows up the way that she's going to, like, she's like, oh, the girl next door, oh, hi, you know, yeah, she's gonna be like the next AJ, like you said.
And also, I think another thing why they didn't want to use AJ is because isn't her real name like April or something like that?
Yeah, her name's April.
Yeah, so I think another thing why they didn't want to use AJ was because her name's April, and I feel a lot of people know her more as AJ. That like,
well, her initials are AJ.
well, I just feel like AJ is like her name, and everyone's going by their real names on this show. So I'm pretty sure most people call her April backstage.
Well, I don't know, because I think her name is April Jeanette or something like that. So her name really is AJ.
Oh, okay, so her name is
so
really
it
AJ.
works out either way.
It works out either way. Who cares? But I don't know. But yeah, the one thing is, when do you think this season's gonna end? Do you because like we've heard that there's the people in real life what happened to them, like there's a lot of life events. Do you think it's gonna end with the Natalia and Tyson Kidd wedding, or do you think that they're gonna try to get footage just in time for after SummerSlam? Because by the time like this show ends, I'm guessing it will probably, I don't know how many episodes they're set to air for this first season, or if this is gonna be like Keeping Up with the Kardashians where it's like pretty much like a whole freaking like 5 months, and then afterwards it's just like they go off the air for a month and they come back with whole new footage for these people. Do you feel like this is going to be like what do you think is going to end, the Tyson Kidd and Natalia wedding, or the Cena and Bryan match with Nikki and Brie's reactions watching the match?
I hope it's that. I think it's going to end with the wedding, and then they're going to start taping again around SummerSlam and going. But they usually have all this time between the seasons and stuff, and I don't want to wait. I want to watch more.
Yeah, like I wish it was a continuous season 2. I would agree, and also I feel like if for season 2, if they felt like, oh, this did good, they probably won't bring back the same cast of people. Maybe we'll get someone different, And I would love to see like maybe like if a Paige shows up to the WWE to see how she would do, because like she's not from America, she's from Britain and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting.
Actually, I think I would probably see Summer on there.
Summer would be interesting, but
it would be interesting.
Is she dating anyone on the roster?
Um,
Is she? Because
but you know that her and Fandango are supposed to be dancing and stuff, and that could cause some friction if Eva Marie.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like maybe one day Johnny Curtis walks to the back and Eva Marie realizes that he has a boner after dancing with Summer Rae. that could go. What about, do you think AJ, if she's no longer Psycho heel, that she will be featured on Total Divas season 2 if they ever do one?
Like I said, she's not as interesting as the other girls are.
Yeah.
Like she's like an everyday girl. Like you even saw that during the WrestleMania Diaries thing.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not all that interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry. She was trying to be interesting by making Big E Langston buy her a muffin.
Buy her cake or something.
Yeah, like buy that whole cake and eat it. And I was like, God damn, I feel bad for like I don't know who Big E Langston is as a person, but I don't think if you told him that you would be hanging out with a 5'2" chick from New Jersey, that you would be like good friends with her in a wrestling business. Because I think he's just like, yeah, you're kind of weird, and I'm like black and big.
Big E is kind of weird.
Well, is he like nerdy like AJ?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
He is? I didn't know that. I thought because you play, well, football players are kind of nerds, so.
Yeah, he's a little weird, but maybe he doesn't show that on TV. Like when you hear him talk, you can tell that he's not like, oh hey, big two, blah. I'm not Mark Henry.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. But Total Divas episode 1, we give it 2 thumbs up. Yes.
Yes, if I had more thumbs up.
Exactly. Great starting episode for this show. I don't know how long it is, but I hope it's long enough, because this thing will be just so much fun to watch every Sunday night after Dexter. Because the funny thing was, I actually was like way tired on Sunday, so I did a podcast with my friend Alan, and then afterwards I passed out, and I had to watch my Big Brother, my Dexter, my Total Divas, and so I watched Big Brother, whatever. And then I watched Dexter, and Dexter just blew my mind again or something like that. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I have to watch Total Divas. I don't even know if this is going to be good. And then I just sat there. It didn't blow my mind like Dexter did, but it was a good episode. I was like interested. I was like, oh, shit, and stuff like that. But we're looking forward to doing episode 2, new episodes every Wednesday. Peep Show podcast. I'm a regular guest on there. CHELZ is the host of that show with a bunch of great wrestling fans. Great wrestling discussion throughout the whole podcast. It's an awesome show. Go check that out. CHELZ, if you send me the link to where you can download or the YouTube to the Peep Show podcast, I'll post that in the description box down below. Make sure you guys comment down below. What did you guys think about the Total Divas rundown, or just Total Divas in general if you watched it yourself? I would like to hear your feedback about it. Give this video a like or dislike, whatever you feel like, because you feel like you don't like hearing about a dude in his 20s talking about WWE divas on a reality show.
There is nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. But yes, give me your honest thoughts about, what you thought about the Total Divas rundown. Just give it a like or dislike. You can follow CHELZ on Twitter at CHELZ WWE fan. Yeah, okay. I was trying to make sure it wasn't something else. CHELZ WWE fan, and you can follow me on Twitter at ChaseAuber68, and also follow the Peep Show podcast at Peep Show Podcast on Twitter as well for when they upload their episodes. But this has been the Total Divas Rundown, Episode 1. Episode 2 will be posted next Wednesday. Until then, don't be a diva like Nikki Bella. I'll see you all later. Peace!